Do I have all the things I need and love and want? The answer is, now I do. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having an awesome day. Today we are going to talk about something that has weighed heavily on this family's life and heart and mind and all of it for the last 4 years, and that is eczema. For those of you who don't know what eczema is, it's the devil. I'm going to read you a quick little description of eczema so I can fill you all in on what it is and why it sucks. Eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, is a common skin condition marked by itchy and inflamed patches of skin. Blah, 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 blah. If people are referring to eczema, they're typically referring to atopic eczema, which is characterized by the dry, itchy skin that often appears with a red rash. This is the most common and chronic type of eczema. So basically, it's awful. It's a very uncomfortable situation for anybody that has it, and unfortunately, our littlest child, Bennett, who is now 4, has had it, and we discovered it around 4 months. It has been a journey, to say the least, in discovering what the best care procedure is for his specific eczema, because it flares up in the weirdest ways at the weirdest times, and it's very, very unpredictable. I have found a few things have helped us, and it's taken me quite some time to figure it out, unfortunately. But now we're at a good place with his eczema. We are definitely in, I'd say, like maintenance zone. And even with flare-ups, I'm pretty good about knowing how to attack it and what sorts of applications and such to do for him. So I'm just going to jump into it. We found out that Bennett had eczema at 4 months. He was having some digestive issues, which, if you want to read more into this, very commonly associated with eczema, digestive issues, lactose intolerance and a gluten allergy. And we didn't really realize that until later on, but now I know at 4 months that was the common denominator. So we tried all of the over-the-counter creams, all of the over-the-counter bath washes. We did Aquaphor head to toe. He was literally a greased monkey for the first few years of his life. And it wasn't until he was about a year old that these patches started appearing. And it wasn't just dry skin anymore. It was flaky, it was raised, bumpy. He was very uncomfortable, and we couldn't keep it contained. Like, we just couldn't keep it, like, the inflammation down. And he was prescribed a steroid cream. As many of you know, steroids are very commonly used for a plethora of reasons and can be harmless. But if used for a prolonged period of time, there are side effects. And that is just something that I was so uncomfortable with, because he had a pretty severe case of eczema, still does. And I found myself applying the steroid cream all the time, and it just wasn't doing what it needed to do. It wasn't calming it down. The flare-ups would happen even though I was, very diligent about our routine, and I realized that it wasn't working. So I kind of stopped trusting the dermatologist and the pediatrician, not fully, but I wanted to have power, and I think knowledge is power, and sometimes you have to do your own research. So what I found initially was that we were bathing him too much. We have always been an every night bathing family. It was a way for us to just get on our evening schedule, de-stress from the day, get all the germies off. I'm kind of a germaphobe, but it turns out that water is very, very bad for people that have eczema because it irritates it. So we were doing all of the wrong things. I was buying all of this stuff and throwing it in his bathtub and, lathering him up after, but the water was a real issue. So we cut his bath time down over half. So we now bathe him like once every 2 or 3 days, which I know is so gross, but it's what he needed. And so on top of the bathing that needed to change, I looked into the products that, were for eczema and, itchy skin and all of those recommended products used by dermatologists, everything at Target, Bye Bye Baby. We did the homeopathic situation and did the Whole Foods. We've done it all. And I was realizing as I would look through all of these labels and everything that I was using, one of the first ingredients in all of it was water. And so not only am I throwing this kid in a bathtub way too often, but I'm using products that are based on an ingredient that he really doesn't need on his skin that often. So I dug a little deeper at around 3 years old, like after we were like literally hitting our head against the wall. It was awful to see these patches on my son were horrific and excruciating. I mean, I could just see how in pain he was, and he hated having creams rubbed on him. He hated bath time, like all of it, because he knew what was coming and it was painful. So at around 3 years old, I realized I'm done with this. I'm beating my head up against the wall. The products that I'm using are crap and I don't know what to do. So I found a company that was founded because their child had eczema and they couldn't figure out what to do, kind of in the same situation that I was in. And so they created this goat's milk soap company. And basically that's the premise. The products that they use on their child were all like fully goat's milk based. And I bought it all on a whim, and I said, I'm gonna get one of those, and I went for it. So I got the lotions, I got the milk baths, I got the soaps. I mean, I went hard. And when I got it, the very first day that I used it on Bennett, I could tell a difference. It was soothing and coating his skin, kind of taming it down. My poor boy's skin was so aggravated, and I think that this was the first time that I felt like I had something that was benefiting it rather than like stripping it. And the company that I use to this day is called Bend Soap Company, and like I said, it was a family started business. Their child, you can read about them, they have like a million of them. Not really a million children, but I think they have like 11. It is basically, I'll read the ingredients because I think there are 5. Fresh goat milk, saponified coconut, olive and palm oil, oats, and honey. Now we are using the bar soap for Bennett and also the milk bath from this company. The milk bath and the soaps are amazing, to the point where I have incorporated it into Charlotte's bath routine, and I actually use the bar soap myself. I use the milk bath twice a week, and I take a big old heaping handful of it's basically the bar soap, but it's just shaved, and I throw it into the bath, swirl it around, and it really does make the bath white. So if you're weird about colored baths, just watch out. I throw that in, and then I also use the bar soap on top of that. So I kind of double dip with the bath time routine, and it works like a dream. When he does have a flare up, if we're doing bath time, I will always use this CeraVe Eczema Soothing Body Wash. I love this because it's like an oil, and it just, like I said, puts a film over the skin. I put it on after I've just dampened his skin. I just let him sit in it, and it really, really helps a lot. I feel like it really hydrates his skin. Now, like I said, I don't bathe him every day. I bathe him every other day. But something I do every day is his lotion and cream regimen. And this is sad because this is the part he's always hated. The lotions have always stung him, and he has just been miserable. And I think it's because that poor kid has walked around with like a layer of something on top of his skin since he was 4 months old. So we have gone through all of them. I mean, we did the Aquaphor for a year. We did all of the creams and eczema related options at the drugstore. We did the steroid creams. I've done all the prescriptions. Eucrisa, which is a non-steroid cream, that did nothing. The steroid creams did nothing. So again, beating my head up against a wall after this little boy had his bath, and I felt like that was helping him. I didn't have a great solution for keeping his skin hydrated and less inflamed. So what I have come across, and it has worked so well, we've been doing this regimen for about a year now with a new addition just recently. Sorry, the dog's sitting right behind me, so I'm trying to get comfortable. We have been using a product, and it's the CeraVe Itch Relief Moisturizing Cream. It does have hydrochloride in it, but it's steroid free, and it really works as a great base for Bennett. So if he doesn't have any flare-ups and he's just the typical dry little boy that we have, this is awesome. And it just comes, I don't know if you can see, it's very thick, and he hates it still, but we do it because he needs it. Now, he always has some sort of patch. Like, there's never a day that goes by where I can scan him from top to bottom when he doesn't have some sort of flare-up somewhere. So typically what I used to do is use a very small amount of hydrocortisone cream, and it is a script, but I don't like to use it a lot. I use it sparingly, and it's the 2.5%. Like I said, this thing is still pretty full, and I've had it for over a year because I don't like to use it. So on really bad cases, I'll put a little bit of this on, and then I'll cover it with something else and then something else. But for the most part, I use this extremely sparingly. And what I try to do when he has a bit of a flare-up is use Lanolin. Now, it's literally nipple cream. So anybody that's a breastfeeding mama probably got this as a care package in, you know, their baby shower or the delivery or from the hospital. But it is a wonderful protectant because I lay it over his skin, and it just like forms a film, and I feel like it keeps his skin super hydrated. So this is something that I use when he has a little bit of a flare-up. When he has like multiple flare-ups, something that we've been using recently, which I actually found on Instagram, leap of faith, my friends, is this stuff called Eczema Honey. There it is. Okay, so this is a 4-ounce jar, and it is not cheap, my friends. I think this was like $28 or 30 some dollars. It truly is like a honey. So you stick your hand in it, and it separates. Like, there's like an oily part and then a more solidified part, and it doesn't feel lotiony. It kind of feels like a little bit sticky after you've applied it, but Bennett doesn't have any sort of reaction to it. He never cries, he doesn't like tinge, he doesn't do anything. He just accepts it, and he thinks it's kind of fun because he thinks it's actual honey. So we've been using this a lot recently because unfortunately he has had a little bit of a flare up here and there because of the weather. I feel like the ups and downs of this weather are just miserable for people with eczema, but this, when I put this on, it dries it up within like a day or so, and I can tell that it heals it very, very quickly. So I love, love, love this. In all of the products that I'm talking about, none of the first few ingredients is water, and that means a lot to me. I feel like this is kind of going in a direction that we need to be heading in, and so many people trust what's on the shelf at all of these different stores because we are just looking for answers, and we don't necessarily want to put a steroid cream on our children all the time. But unfortunately, you can't trust the market, and you really have to dig deep and find better products. And so these are the products that I have found, and I truly feel like they are doing their job for our little boy, and I'm just so thankful because it has really been a journey. And anybody that has a child with eczema or somebody that's suffering from eczema knows how heartbreaking it is. I can tell you that I hated bath time for the first 3 years of Bennett's life because he was miserable and he screamed, and even up until we found this Eczema Honey, he would cry because he knew that he had to have himself just drenched in some sort of cream just to keep these flare-ups at bay. And as a mom, you don't want your kid to think that you're hurting them or doing something that's not benefiting them. And how do you tell a 3-year-old that you're trying to help them and they're just itching every inch of their body? It's hard. And I just want you to know that if you're going through it, I hear you, and I've been there, and I hope that I am giving you just a glimmer of hope because it's a tough journey. But I do feel like with the right concoction and cocktail of products, you can find yourself at a point of at least maintenance. And if you're wanting to know our actual journey with this eczema, I'm happy to share that. I feel like it should probably be a separate video though because it has been something. To recap, we do 2 to 3 baths or showers a week. And with that, we use products that don't have water as their main ingredients. So we're always using the Bend goat's milk soap and the Bend milk bath. I use them together. When Bennett has a flare-up, I hit him with some of this CeraVe eczema soothing body wash, which is basically soybean oil and a whole bunch of other good stuff. And I just lather him up and let him sit in that. Also, every single day, morning and night, we give him the CeraVe Itch Relief Moisturizing Cream. And if he has a tiny bit of a flare-up, I just hit it with some Lanolin or whatever I have on hand. And then when, you know, he does have a pretty good flare-up, I've been loving this Eczema Honey, and it's a Miracle Healing Cream. And something that I didn't mention about this is it has to be refrigerated because there are no preservatives in it. So just know that if you are somebody that like lives on the road or, you know, don't have a refrigerator, this probably isn't a good option for you. Of course, if I have to use the hydrocortisone or the steroid cream, I do, because that is what it's there for. And as long as I'm not using it for an extended period of time, I don't feel too bad about it. But I just wanted to find a more natural based solution for Bennett and something that he can carry on, because the chances of him growing out of it, I don't know. Everybody says yay, some people say nay. I'm saying heck. This journey has been interesting. I know that I still have my asthma, which is definitely associated with eczema, and I never really grew out of it. Charlotte has gotten better with her asthma, but the truth is this kid could have a skin condition for the rest of his life, so I want him to know how to manage it. And I think that with diet, and I haven't talked much about that, and a good skincare regimen, it's completely possible. So I really hope that you don't have to deal with this in your family. But if you do, know that there's a community out there and we're all going through it together, and we're still trying to find answers and what fits our child best. I feel like every case is different. These are the products that are working for me right now, and I'm feeling pretty confident in managing his eczema. So I hope you guys are awesome, and I really hope that you subscribe and like my channel because it helps me, and I just want all my chatty Cathy friends to be chatting with me on all the topics that I'm chatting about. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
Hi everyone. I just got my food book and it hurt.
You what?
Now I got the Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
And it